It's my great pleasure to welcome to this special Chabad Telethon, good friend, great guy, entrepreneur, what do you call him? He's Jerry Weintraub, and there's no one like him. He's got a sensational new book out that's been an amazing bestseller. What is your involvement with Chabad?
I've been with Chabad 29 years, and been with Rabbi Cunin for 29 years. I've been the chairman of the Telethon since that time, that's 29 years. And I have a very close bond with the Rebbe Schneerson. And I see the Rebbe every day, and I talk to the Rebbe every day, and I pray to the Rebbe every day.
But you are not a religious man per se, right?
I'm spiritual. I believe in God, but I'm not an Orthodox Jew, nor am I a Lubavitcher. But as Begin said to me when I met with Begin, he said to me, "You're not a Lubavitcher, Jerry. I know you're not a Lubavitcher." I said, "No, I'm not a Lubavitcher." But I do think, and I do believe, and I do know that the programs that we've done at Chabad, the drug programs, the food programs, the schools, everything that we've done over the last 29 years has made this community work and has done a lot of good things, great things for a lot of people, and not just Jewish people. It's non-sectarian. If it was just Jewish people, I wouldn't do it. It's non-sectarian. And I believe that I've involved a tremendous amount of my friends and a lot of the community at Beverly Hills and a lot of people that would normally not get involved over the years because I felt it was so important.
How do you balance, I mean, you're so busy, you're producing movies, shows, to anyone who reads your book. And by the way, it's one of the best, maybe the best show business book I've ever read. You cannot put it down. The stories are great. Jerry was on my show. We've repeated it twice. Probably going to run a Jerry Weintraub Telethon one day and just run it all day long. But how are you able to squeeze all this in while doing all that?
This is very important to me. It's a very major part of my life. I don't go a day without thinking about the Rebbe, and I don't go a day without talking to him. His picture's next to my bedside. I believe that he is the reason that I survived and didn't die when I was ill. I prayed to him. The Rabbi Cunin was in my house with his sons. They were all praying for me when the doctors said there was no hope. They prayed for me, and I believe in it. You know, I just believe in it. He spoke to me, Larry, when I was a kid, and I was on my way to Russia to do something for George Bush. I turned on the television in the middle of the night on some obscure cable channel, and on came Rebbe Schneerson from Brooklyn, and he was talking to all the rabbis, and he said in that speech in Yiddish, I didn't understand it, but they had somebody interpreting it. He said, "There's a man leaving for Russia tomorrow, and he's going to do something for the refuseniks, and he's going to meet with Elie Wiesel, and he's going to do this and do that. But he shouldn't worry about that. We're going to take care of that. We're going to get the Jews out of Russia. He should do whatever government work they asked him to do, because that's what's going to be important in the long run." And he talked to me, and I didn't know him. I hadn't met him at that time. I was lucky enough to meet him many times after that and go see him. And I brought my dad to him, Larry.
Really?
Yeah, well, my dad was crippled over and couldn't move. I took him to Chabad House in Brooklyn. And I took him in to meet the Rebbe. And we prayed together. There were thousands of rabbis there. And my dad met the Rebbe, shook his hand, and then he stood up tall, and we walked out of the place.
So are you saying you believe in a mystical power in this rabbi? You
Yes.
believe he is somehow sent here for some special reason?
Yes, I do.
But you're not a religious man.
No, I am. I mean, I'm spiritual, and I believe in God, and I believe that there is a higher power, and I believe that Rebbe Schneerson was as close as I will ever get to God. He had a magic about him. When he walked in a room, the room separated like a sea parted, like Moses
changed the room.
Changed it, and he walked in, and his eyes and his face were calm and spiritual, and you felt good. And when you touched him, you felt special. The air changed around him. Everything was different around him.
So do you stay very involved with Chabad?
Oh yes, I have all these years, and I will stay involved. And my kids are involved, and we've done a lot with the drug centers, and we've done a lot with all the programs at Chabad. There's a school named after my mother and father, Chabad School. We have 600 kids in it. Well, I'm very, very involved.
Why do you think the world doesn't know more about Chabad?
Well, I think it's an interesting question, very, very, very interesting question. The problem with Chabad is that there are a lot of Jews who are Orthodox Jews, conservative Jews, Reform Jews, who are ashamed of Chabad.
Because?
Because they're still European, and they still wear the long black coats and the tzitzis and the yarmulkes and so on and so forth. And they want, when the Jews came here from Europe, they wanted to be Americanized. They wanted to fit in, be part of the fabric of our country. These guys, that's not what these guys are about. They don't want to fit in. They want to do good, and they want to bring their children up the right way. And they do. Their kids are great. Their kids don't watch TV, and they don't go to the movies, and they don't read the books that we read, and they don't do the stuff we do. And I'm not saying that that's the way to bring a child up or not bring a child up, but that's their way. And their communities are wonderful, and the young rabbis are wonderful, and it's a lot of great.
Do you get as much? We only have a couple of minutes left.
Yeah.
Do you get as much satisfaction out of this as you would out of the Karate Kid?
I get more satisfaction out of this because I'm very involved in philanthropy and have been all my life. Not just Chabad and not just Jewish charities, but everything. Hospitals, Jewish hospitals, not Jewish hospitals, schools. I give away a lot of money because I believe in giving away money. It's much better to give than get.
Can't take away you.
Much better, and it's much better to give it than get it. So I believe in that. So this gives me more of a thrill when I see a kid get off of drugs, or when I see a kid going to school that normally wouldn't go to school, or when I see our programs that feed people that are not fed. Hundreds and hundreds of people. They never say no to anybody. And when I built Jerry's place over at the Chabad house, where we have a little hotel, so when people come to UCLA and they have a relative in a hospital, they have a place to stay because they couldn't afford the hotels. Stuff like that. It all just makes me feel good.
I honor you, Jerry.
Thanks, Larry. Thanks.
Jerry Weintraub, one of the good guys. One of the good guys.